Where are we at? What's going on?
We're here at Nankoweap Camp, and we're going to hike up to the Nankoweap Granaries, and so it's about a mile up and 45 to 50 minutes up. It's a very, very sacred place because it's one of the few places that's accessible to river guides and passengers and everybody who wants to hike down here and take a look at it. Pretty much is still in the same condition as it was when the people that used to live here left it. And so this is where they used to store food during the winter time, but also away from any invading critters.
I was telling them a story about when emergence came, the way the Holy people, they gave the Hopi the planting stick. Instead of us getting the planting stick, they gave us the bow and the arrow, so that we could hunt the meat and have meat. And I guess that's what we traded for with the Hopis. At first, that was one of the things that brought us into the villages to trade. I know from my point is that my mother used to trade mutton for a big gunny sack of dry peach or apricots, and she'll boil that in the winter time, so we'd have something good to eat. And I was telling them, the Hopis, I guess this is what the temperature has to be set at certain temperature, and it's cool, and it's in the winter time it's not freezing, so the vegetables, whatever was stored in here, didn't freeze. And I was telling them that in the Navajo they have a type of granary where it was stored in underground, and it was built the same way with stone walls, but wooden shelves type of thing over a roof, and dirt put back on top, so that the temperature on the inside that little storage bin is constant temperature. Summertime is cool 50s, and in the summer it's a warm 50s. Wintertime it's a warm 50s, and that's, I guess, and they had storage jugs, and I guess a lot of that was traded too. And I know when I was a little boy, my grandma had storage jugs that she traded with the Hopis from. I guess you can say her cousins or aunts or whoever they were, that she traded with them as relatives, and they gave her big storage jugs to put food in, and for the winter, the corn, squash, beans, tobacco. That was the mainstay of Southwest Native Americans, I guess, and so that was one of the things that was growing in the field. It was planted, and in our prayer and in our songs is that's what we use and what we have to sing and sing our songs and way of prayer for us.
People from the past down along the delta area and up along this ridge line down here. It's a village. The village comes all the ways up to the base of this hill, and up along both sides, I've been told, so they had their fields. I'm sure that the soils were rich and plentiful back then, and with the water going, they had plenty of water for their fields on both sides. And I'm sure they probably had enough planting season within 2 years with the climate and everything else. So maybe when they got too hot, they may have gone up to the rim to stay for a while where it's much cooler. So maybe the early part of the year they came down here and planted and lived, and then went up during the hot season and came back down toward when it got cooled off a little bit more to do another planting session. The other thing that I also like to share about this place is that it took us one trip to come up here, and was that work for all of us? I'm sure it was. Now, when I do this and I come up here and I think back, how many trips do you think those people made up here in a day to bring their food up here? How much weight were they hauling? You know, when you think about that, and it's just, man, those people were not lazy at all. He said, you know, they were not lazy at all. They were not ill with any health. They were physically fit. They worked hard. And here we think that we lived a good life now, and we just take this one trek up and we're tired. And, you know, we're just carrying our own body weight. So, you know, when you think about all that, I'm very thankful for everything here. And as he said, you know, they set an example that we shouldn't take things for granted. We should live the good life, and that's what I get out of the places like this. Very strong, very powerful. And I have a great respect for the people that live down here, and I'm sure they had people from throughout different areas of the tribes came down here to trade goods. And, you know, I'm sure this place was filled with different tribes. And imagine the community, the different nations that came here and enriched their lives and just had a great time, smoked, ate. Everybody was welcome. There was no boundaries back then. And I can just sit here and look down and imagine if everybody's getting along together, because everybody depended on one another, either for blankets that was woven by a different tribe and things like that to survive and help them through their daily lives. So I wish that we could get back together to that type of environment as nations and neighbors and everybody that's in this country, even throughout the world and throughout the universe. Put our differences aside and just live as one. And with that, I think our mother, the earth, would have much more appreciation for us, because we need to keep reminding ourselves that we're visitors. We don't own this place, we're just visitors. And as a visitor, when you go someplace, you should respect that place. And, you know, always keep it clean and take whatever you brought in out with you, and be thankful. Be thankful for a precious place like this, and I really appreciate the visitors that come here and practice that too, and keep it clean.